kind of an interesting day. I got a lot of different stuff going on. I took a break from making videos for a couple of weeks. I had some personal stuff happen, and I just didn't have the time to make videos. So I'm getting back into the swing of things today. So today I'm going to be going over, the videos that I'm going to be making between now and WWDC, which is that first full week in June. So I'm going to be planning all of that out today. So I thought it'd be interesting to show off how I do project management and project planning. I've been doing all of that through Airtable, and it's kind of an interesting system that I've created because I'm able to link a bunch of different things together. I'll show you all that. I'm also a judge for the Mac Stories Automation April contest. So today I'm going to be going through a lot of the shortcuts that were submitted for that, and judging them and kind of putting my notes into the system for that. So I'm going to be doing that as well. Then I got a few other admin tasks as well. I really need to get caught up on email. I have some email going back to November of last year. It's April now. I get a lot of email. What can I say? I get a lot of email, and I really need to get caught up on it. So I'm hoping I can do that today. I also kind of want to go to Home Depot and get a plant for my desk. This plant right here is the only other real plant I have in this office. All the other ones are fake plants, and I'm just kind of over fake plants. I kind of want something real, so I want to get something on my desk, and maybe I might get something kind of big for like one of the corners in here or something. So the first thing I want to get done today is I want to map out the rest of my video projects until that first week in June with WWDC. I use Airtable for all my project management and kind of like managing video projects. For a long time, I kept all that stuff in my task manager, but it's just gotten to be a little too big for a typical task manager. So I broke it all out into Airtable, which is a database service. Now, Airtable is a really good database service as a web app, but its iOS apps are terrible. So on the iPad, I actually use, and I've talked about this in the past, I use the web app. So I just do the save to home screen from Safari, and it just saves the web app. I don't actually use the iOS app. And on my iPhone, I don't really use Airtable because the iOS app is so bad, but I have a bunch of shortcuts I use to input data, and you'll kind of see what I mean in just a bit. But this Airtable database, it helps me keep track of video ideas, videos I'm working on, sponsorships, the different stages video projects are in, anything that links to those video projects, like if I have review documents or a sponsorship guide or something like that I need to like link to that video, I can put all that stuff here. It's really great at that. I like this. A lot of people have asked why I don't use Notion. I don't like Notion. I think it's trying to do too much. It's trying to be a jack of all trades, master of none. And I don't care for it because of that, because it's trying to do too much, and it's not particularly good at any one thing. And I don't think its iPad or iPhone app is any good. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of its Mac app either. It's really rough. That's okay if you like it. Totally get it, but for me, it's not quite there. So I like to use Airtable. Even though its iOS app isn't great, the web app version works great on the Mac, and the web app version works great on the iPad as well. Okay, so this is Airtable right here. I have two different databases. We're just gonna focus on this video project one right now. Money Tracker is for expensing items for my business and tracking income, but we're just gonna focus on video projects. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here. And this view right here is active projects. So like I said, I took some time off from making videos. I have done one other video in the month of April, but I didn't really, I just had some stuff going on, so I didn't really have the time to do this. So this is the video I'm working on today, project management and daily workflow. You can see I have categories right here. You can check out the different categories I have. This can be expanded, but these are the core categories of videos I work on. There is a sponsorship, so as you can see, I will be talking about Paperlike in this video. Then there is the status of the project, so you can come in here and you can pick these different from these different tags. And then I have a start date and a due date, and that plays into something else. So what's cool about Airtable is all of this is really customizable. There's all these different kinds of layouts down here that you can pick from. Grid is the one that I use the most. You can see that, these three right here are grid. That is a grid. Then there's a calendar that I use right here for production calendar. And then there's a Kanban view as well. And I use this for project step tracking. So if we go back here, you'll see the status is filming. That is actually linked to this right here, project step tracking. So all these videos are on deck right here. They're not necessarily things that I'm working on, but I want to work on at some point. Then when I kind of have an idea of when I'm going to work on them, they get moved into upcoming. And then as I move through the different steps, you can move them over and you can just drag them, or you can, click on them, expand the view and change the status. Personally, I just like to drag them. So as I drag them through the different steps, they update automatically until they get to posted. And once they get to posted, they automatically move to this archive feature right here. And this is where all the videos that I've made since I've implemented this Airtable system go. These are all archived. So that's pretty cool. And what you can do is as you create these grids, so here, I'll just create a new whole view right here. So we're just gonna create a grid. We'll just leave it grid 5. And this is gonna pull in everything. Because what I do on these different views right here, so what I use is these filters right here to filter out different kinds of videos. So active projects have to be in an active step, and they also can't be a short as well. So I have a whole separate view for shorts that I want to do. Shorts are something I want to do more of in the future, but I just haven't quite had time to do them just yet. So that's kind of how I filter these. But then you can also come up here and do sorted, so you can sort them. So we could kind of come over here and we could change these to be sorted by, well, this actually isn't a good view to do that. What we could do is we can come over here and go on deck and we can sort them by, due date. Well, there isn't anything due, so they're sorted by category instead. Kind of cool. So here's our blank grid. This has everything I've ever made. There's no filtering. There's none of that. So we could filter and we can do like, if status is posted, let's do is not posted. So here's everything that's not posted. Shorts, on deck stuff I'm working on, everything's here. Now, what's really cool about this is I have this section right here called sponsorships. Now, I don't have a lot of sponsorships happening right now. I just have my active Paperlike one that they're just a channel sponsor. But as I get different sponsorships in here, I can actually come in here to this category right here. And let's say, okay, handwriting notes. I know for a fact I'm going to have Paperlike sponsor that one. So I can come in here and I can select Paperlike, and that will link these two together. So it'll link this record right here to this record as well. So then if I'm ever like, oh, hey, were there any specifications for the Paperlike sponsorship, or were there anything like any documents I need to go over or something like that, I can jump to that record automatically. Really, really handy, really nice stuff. This is where like the power of Airtable really comes together, is when you can start linking things together. The other thing I was starting to show you guys is you can hit this plus button right here and you can add all these different kinds of categories right here. There's so many different things. There's check boxes, collaborators if you want to have multiple people work on the same database, duration, currency, roll-up, lookup, created by, last modified by, barcodes, buttons. Buttons are really cool. I can show you in here stuff I want to cover. So that's what this is right here. This is a button right here. So this is technically a link, so we can kind of customize field type. And what this does is it opens a URL for the link formula. So I can just click on one of these right here, and it'll open the app right there. And it's like, oh, hey, this is an app I want to cover in a future video. Kind of cool. That's kind of like the basics of how I do Airtable and how I link everything together. It's just a good service for, actively laying out projects and kind of like going through and, having a list of ideas, stuff you're working on. You can lay out this production calendar, which this is what I'm going to do today. My plan is to fill this all the way up until June 6th here. I'll probably take Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, just because starting June 6th, that gets to be my busy month. So I'm going to stay up until the 31st. I want to have everything covered, but for the most part, I'm going to fill all this up and, try and get this as much padded in and get as much videos done as possible before June, before WWDC. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in and do that now. So I padded out, until June, basically. I would like to get all these videos done, but as I was kind of putting together the production calendar, so I'll click over here, I realized I didn't really give myself any extra padding other than like this last week right here. So I think I'm gonna leave this last week blank. So in case, something happens, and sometimes there are delays, and I'm just not able to get to everything that I want. I'll be able to kind of push some stuff a few days, and I'll have that extra week in there between now and WWDC. But I think this is really good. This is all stuff I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and I just haven't had a chance to because I've been busy. But now is the time to do it because everything's kind of quiet in Apple computer tech world right now, as, a lot of companies are ramping up to release their summer stuff. A lot of the spring releases just came out. Summer stuff's going to be happening. Then it'll be quiet again, and then we'll, have the busy fall and winter. So that's just kind of how these things roll. That's how it rolls every year. So this is kind of what I'm working on right now, and I'm happy with it. I did turn on some filtering. I realized I didn't have filtering for the calendar, so I turned off posted and I turned off on deck stuff so it wouldn't show up stuff on here. But that means any of my previous stuff got taken off, which is fine. I never go back. I'm not too worried about that. But I use this sidebar right here. So what I can do is let me delete the dates on here. So what I do is anything that doesn't have a date but falls under the status, basically isn't on deck or isn't posted, shows up in this sidebar right here, and you can just drag it and extend it to however you want it. So I think this is what's going to be happening. I'm excited for this video in particular, what's in my everyday bag. I haven't traveled a lot in the last few years, but I am planning a few trips over the summer that I am very, very excited to do because I need to get out and about again because I'm getting a little stir crazy. So I've been playing around with the stuff that's in my bag and like tech bag, and I'm excited to kind of jump into it. So I got a few keyboard videos coming up. I've got a lot of like iPad specific app stuff. I've been rethinking a lot of the ways I use apps and stuff on my iPad. So I've got a bunch of that stuff coming up. I think this is going to be really interesting as far as upcoming videos. So one thing I forgot to do when I got into the office this morning was journal. It's something I like to do every single morning. I just got a little excited because I was getting back to filming again. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my iPad, open up GoodNotes, and get to that. One of the things I like using when using the Apple Pencil in my iPad is Paperlike. Paperlike is a channel sponsor, and it's one of my favorite iPad accessories. Honestly, like sponsorship aside, I put it on all of the iPads I use. It feels like you're using a pencil and a piece of paper, which is a much better feeling than the plastic on glass feeling. The other reason why I like using it is because it gives me a matte screen. The nice thing about having a matte display is it doesn't reflect light like a typical glossy glass display does. It kind of disperses the light. So if you're working outside and you have that sun beating right down on your screen and it makes it really hard for you to see, you can put a matte screen protector on something and it should help. I have this big light right here just out of frame that I have on when I'm filming, and it helps me to be able to see my iPad, but it also helps me to be able to film my iPad. So that's why I like using the Paperlike. But I'm going to go ahead and journal right now and kind of get caught up with the stuff that I normally do first thing in the morning. Okay, so journaling all done. Next up for the day, I'm going to actually be doing the Mac Stories Automation April contest. So Federico Viticci, the editor-in-chief of Mac Stories, if you've never read Mac Stories and you watch my channel, go check their stuff out. It's like the vlog version of my channel. They talk about apps, automation, shortcuts, iPad stuff. You guys will love it. I'll link to all the Automation April stuff in the description below. Go check it out. But for April, they're holding a contest for building shortcuts. Now, it might be too late by the time this video comes out. I'm sorry if it is. But April 20th, they're closing the the submissions, but basically I was asked to be a judge for their shortcuts contest. So the whole community is submitting shortcuts to be judged, and there's prizes and really cool prizes like Analog Pocket, Stream Deck XL, all sorts of really cool stuff for shortcuts creators to win. So it's a really cool thing. I'm really excited. So I'm going to be going through a lot of the submissions probably for the rest of the morning, and then in the afternoon I'm going to be editing this video. But I just wanted to show you my setup, what I'm going to be doing here. Okay, so let me show you guys what I'm doing with this. So I have my MacBook Pro set up here, plugged into the studio display. That is going to be kind of the place where I go through the judges portal, write all my notes about the shortcuts and all that stuff right there. But then I have the iPad Air set up on the Mag Float with shortcuts. So that's where I'm going to be running most of the shortcuts from, and I can use universal control to control everything. It's just a nice setup. I'm really loving the whole Mag Float universal control setup. It's just working out really nice. Yeah, I really like that Mag Float setup. I made a video about the prototype. I got access to the prototype months ago, and it was really, really nice. But now I have the final version, and it's really good. I like this setup. But yeah, let's get to judging these shortcuts. All right, took a quick break from, a little bit of work today. I'm now at Home Depot. I'm gonna run in and look for some plants for my office. Like I said, I have some fake plants and stuff. But I'm just kind of over all the fake plant stuff. I kind of want to deck it out with real plants now, because they're just nicer. I don't think most people could tell the difference on video, but working in the office, I can. All right, plant acquired. I think this whole section of my desk, this corner, is looking really good. You got the plant, the ATST, and the candle. I think those things like really bring that corner together. I'm really happy with it. Now I got to figure out what to do with that corner. But this corner is really nice. I need to get a different pot for that one. It's kind of like the temporary pot the plant comes with. I didn't like any of the ones that were at Home Depot. So I'm still going through a lot of the shortcuts for the Automation April contest on the MacStories website. There's a lot of really good stuff in here, and I'm actually having a difficult time picking some of my favorites. So this is taking a little bit longer than what I thought it was, but honestly, it's because there's so much good stuff. Like I mentioned, I will link to all the Automation April stuff in the description below. I think it might be too late by the time this video comes out to participate in the contest. I apologize. Like I said, I had some stuff come up and I just wasn't able to make videos until now. So from the sound of it, from talking with the guys, it sounds like they're going to try and do this annually. So be sure to check out MacStories stuff. They do a lot of really good stuff over there. Especially if you like my content, you will like their stuff as well. And that's kind of also it for this video. Spent the day planning out the rest of the month and next month as well as far as videos go. Declared email bankruptcy. Got a nice little plant in my corner situated on my desk. Now, next time I need to figure out the other corner. And I'm going through all the Automation April stuff. Plus, as soon as I finish this part up, I'm going to edit this video as well. So, pretty busy day for getting back on the horse after, kind of taking a short break. A lot happening today, but I've gotten a lot done, so I'm pretty happy with it all. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a great day.